Hey everybody, this is Guy with Survive. Thanks for stopping by. Today I just wanted to have a few minute conversation with you guys. Some of you noticed last evening I posted a video and I think there were some misunderstandings. That was just about a year-old video that was an internal memo. I was communicating some quality issues and I had some criticisms for the folks over at Niagara and Crucible Industries that I was trying to get worked out. And it was just one of the several things that we've been working on since I took over manufacturing. I'm just trying to get some inconsistencies dialed in. So I hope that didn't confuse too many people. I'm also shooting this as an introductory to some other videos we're gonna make public, just to give you guys some greater context into some of the things we've been trying to get dialed in behind the scenes and some of the struggles with that. But right now, I just wanted to, I think, clear the air on my intention, why I started this, and how this path looked. You know, this looks like, in retrospect to me, this has very much been a journey, and I see there's some opinions and some confusion looking from the outside on my business practices. So I just want to jump in front of this and help you guys understand where I'm coming from and where we are now. Everything kind of from the beginning to leading up to now. So jumping right into it, I didn't want this. I don't really want this, but we're making too good of a product now and I'm committed to it. I like that we're making something of genuine value. So we're gonna keep doing it. But if there's any like high millionaire sugar daddies out there that want to have a little more input in some of this, I know where this could go. I'm just not the guy to head it up and grow it. I have no interest in that. I know my lane right now, what I want to do, and the objectives I'm trying to accomplish. So, short of some angel investment or something, we're just going to mind our lane and make a really high quality product. What I've realized is I'm not a knife company. That's how it presents because I make knives, but as we all talked about it, I realized a while ago that I said something that's very true, is I've turned my personality disorder into a business model. And that's who we've surrounded ourselves with here. We all have very like-minded goals. We work really hard. We just want to make something of value. And we're all a little crazy in our own ways. And that results in a really nice product and I think a good value for the market. But I don't believe I consider myself a knife company. And I would just like to explain the history of my journey here, how we arrived here, to give you greater context on that. Back in about 2010, I was working as a delivery driver for a printing company, and I was an avid outdoorsman. I used a lot of knives. I just wasn't finding something that I was really like hopped up about. And I went through the whole gamut of things, and they just seemed disappointing for the money I was spending even back then. And I think the last knife I bought, I think, was a Swamp Rat, and I had gotten a Bussy type thing, and that was overbuilt. Like things, either the design was okay, but the materials were falling short, or it's overbuilt, or things weren't right to me. And I went down on this journey by accident to kind of figure out why the industry is the way it is, and this has landed me here. But I started this business more or less on a dare, and it just turned into a design challenge and just a creative challenge for me. Sean down at Edgeworks Knife and Supply I was in there talking shit to him one day saying I could make a better knife. And he just said, everybody says that. And I stewed on it and started drawing some stuff out and ended up quitting my job. And I worked for a whole summer researching steels, what might make a better knife, refining sketches, and then that moved into one-to-one cherry carvings. And I worked a whole summer just doing research and making really nice, intricate paracord stuff for income, drinking lots of coffee, talking to people, seeing what feels nice to people. And when I felt like I had some relevant things that might be a good start to some further ideas, I reached out to a few people. I think Aldo Bruno was one of them with New Jersey Steel Baron, and he had directed me to some different service providers. So I just started going down that road. And a little bit at a time, I learned things. I first worked with Lamson and Goodnow, who I think since went bankrupt or reorganized, whatever. But they make kitchen knives, and I learned that not everybody can do everything. And that was a real learning experience. I ended up driving the whole way up there overnight over an argument to pick up all of my materials when they were just burning my materials up doing bad work. And to salvage that situation, I used the last of my savings. I bought a KMG grinder that I still own and learned to hand grind knives to fix all of those. And that was some of the first offerings that we really had. We were trying to push some other design ideas at a similar time, where we had, through a third party, done some prototyping work through Bark River, and I learned that I just don't really like that sort of standard. So along the way here, I've just been bumping into things to try and achieve what I was seeing in my mind. And each step was a good step in the right direction. It was a good step along the path of learning something. But all along these different steps, from Lamson and Goodnow to Bark River, White River, eventually independent subcontractors. I worked with good guy Travis up at Precision Plus up in Michigan. He does a lot of aerospace and also does some high-end knife stuff. We had done some work with Larkin Precision out in Kent, Washington. Standards were a little different, but I think they're doing a great job now. And all of those things led me here eventually. We were very much just a customer of subcontractors, where I was trying to achieve a result through other people's really expensive equipment. I didn't know a lot about that stuff, so I didn't want to just invest in big equipment I didn't know anything about, where there was going to be a long learning curve. So as some of the finishing things fell short of my expectation, what I was seeing, we got more involved in some of the finishing aspects so that I could correct some of the grinds and stuff that I don't like, just the nature of a Berger and Siepmann grinder. They're not as accurate as I would like. So we started doing that and took over finishing. And as part of that, you'll see in my other video on steel quality and criticisms, I started realizing that there was some material inconsistencies that I think a lot of the industry isn't aware of, just because of how your processes are. It doesn't illustrate those things. And I was really glad I did that. But back on task here. I really didn't like that. I was working with several people over a very large distance, and the quality and some of the piece-to-piece consistency wasn't where I wanted it. So I just doubled down to make sure that they were where I wanted. I hand ground and fixed everything and finished it myself based on my understanding of things. And I hate that. At the end of this original Survive starter that we had done, I was ready to pack up shop and just call this, because I hate standing over a grinder all day. I know machines could do a really good job and more consistently than any human being. And that was the direction I knew it should go in, but I didn't see a path forward. I didn't know anybody with that equipment. Right around that time, it seemed rather serendipitous. The folks from Millet Knives reached out and just put some hope back in me. So I had all this finishing equipment that they didn't have. They had all this CNC equipment that I didn't have. So after talking about it, we really didn't want to move to daggone Boise. I liked North Idaho, being up in the mountains and the woods, and I was happy to just live a quiet life up there. But just chasing this idea, we decided, F it, we'll move our lives down there. We toured their shop. To me, it looked like they had everything that we needed, and we started investing in that. So, feeling full of vigor again, the big promises were made. I thought everybody understood the expectations, so relocating our lives there kind of tied me to that plan. So for a long time, you can see there's a long time things didn't really happen. And at the end of the day, we just had differing expectations. And as I got more and more involved, I thought I was helping them, but I was unintentionally kind of taking over their shop. And in investing in them, I was unintentionally creating another manufacturing company. And by the end of it, I realized we weren't going to get the result that we were looking for. Even after buying out their capital assets, taking over their lease, given a long time to get caught up on other projects, we weren't getting the result we were looking for, and it was really pissing me off and dragging me down. So I kind of exploded on them after 16 months of paying all their bills and kicked them out. I did, for anybody out there, I did make sure we gave them back enough equipment so that they could be completely functional when they left. So if anybody's saying anything differently, they were a completely functional company when I pushed them out of their shop. And I know that sounds bad, but I was trying to achieve a goal for you guys. Like I said, I didn't want this, but I could see where it needed to go. So with them out of the way, we invested in a water jet machine and this last 5-axis mill here to do the job more correctly. And there's still things that I'm not quite pleased with, but I know where it needs to go from here. If we're gonna keep doing this, we're gonna do it my way now. But becoming more and more directly involved in the manufacturing, I started really noticing some of these daggone material inconsistencies, which we're gonna keep talking about, and we're just gonna do a blow by blow. But so that, when we took over the manufacturing, I realized that immediately that we were already having conversations with Millet about moving it all back east, because for workflow and being around everybody, being here makes the most sense for making these daggone knives in an efficient manner. And so when we took over the manufacturing, I slowly started making plans to get moved back east here to reconsolidate our effort, drive down our expenses, and improve communication with everybody we're working with. And there's some other people that I would like to start working with to drive this further that are right here locally now. So that kind of brings us up to now. And right here I need to apologize, because in releasing these videos, I understand that we went dark for a bit, but please know that in the face of this massive decarbonization issue, I ate some loss before, which you'll see in the videos, but this was so large, we invested so heavily in this MagnaCut material, and for it to all go wrong, and knowing it's not my fault, I didn't see a path forward for a bit. I was in a really dark place, and I don't say this lightly, but I didn't want to be here anymore. And because I didn't want this to begin with, and to just have everything go absolutely wrong after I doubled down on all of this against my better judgment to see this through, it was soul crushing. So, we got moved back east. We got some lending here to get moved back east, consolidated, and to start driving this home. But, for them to not really be doing anything for the warranty, that was soul crushing. But thankfully, Böhler Uddeholm finally got their US distribution together, and we started to be able to get some other materials in here. And so now we're moving forward in a direction with that. It's going really, really well, which I'll keep showing you guys in video updates. So my new plan is to clear out this backlog. We're gonna take as much time as needed here, but as in between, we're going to start rolling out some new Böhler Uddeholm stuff, and as we get our steam back, we're just gonna fist fight our way out of this if they're not gonna be good on this. I really hope somebody does something that's meaningful and genuine, that represents like all of our lost time and effort, the hundreds of hours of work that went into creating all that beautiful stuff, and then for it to just get ruined, it seems wrong. We got, you'll see in the video, we were already having material strain issues. I was seeing some voids in some of the MagnaCut, so we got comped 2 sheets as like a sorry, and then in the face of the MagnaCut thing, they sent us another 2 sheets. We lost almost 30 sheets of material. So to me, that's not a warranty solve. And looking at our old CrewForge stuff, we were never made whole on any of that. There was no warranty because the company that made it, the old Crucible, technically didn't exist, and there's no one to hold to account. So that was another 18 sheets of loss. As you can see in one of my material inconsistency videos that we're gonna upload, there was a whole other bunch of 3V sheets that were lost. And instead of making it your problem, I would take out lending to make up the difference and then fight harder to get caught back up. And I'm tired of that, and I'm not gonna do that anymore. So now that we have some higher quality materials, we're gonna be doubling down on that. Most of the things that are offered for sale are already rough ground, perimeter machine. Most of it is actually through heat treat already, or will be at heat treat in the next 2 weeks. So we can guarantee a very tight delivery window. We'll give you guys updates on that. As we move forward in this more productive direction, I'm gonna turn this into just a mission now with some of these US materials. We're gonna keep getting it. If they cut me off, let's just talk. We'll figure out other ways to get material. But what I'm gonna do is show you guys a blow by blow of the inconsistencies, what's going on with each batch, and we're gonna keep delivering high quality CPM knives, but we are gonna absolutely bring the heat to them until they either make it right or absolutely tell us this is the standard and that's what you get. And then we'll all know. But until then, I'm gonna keep using our really high-end peen finishing and inspecting process here to highlight these deficiencies, and we're gonna show you everything. So that's our plan moving forward. We'll have more details on exactly what's going to be available. We've got quite a few things wrapping up and more things we're pushing in the pipeline. And we're going to make more videos on the K890, what that's about, and what the schedules look like for that. But if you guys see the value in the work that we're doing, please just order something in K890, LMAX, and it's going to deliver in a relatively short time frame. And that's going to allow us to maintain these high standards with these materials, discard anything that we don't like, and I'm just going to show you, and we can all decide together what the right course of action is, and just keep it in the comments or call them. You know, I'm sure they won't like a bunch of phone calls, but F it, you know, this is what's happening. And I know this is pervasive across the industry. All these materials, no matter who I get them from, they come from the same places. It's the same source for these materials. So if somebody else isn't seeing things like this, they're either turning a blind eye to it, painting it or something, or their processes don't highlight it. Like I said, the old processes at Larkin, you'd never see this stuff until it's too late and you start seeing the deficiencies in the steel while you're using it as the weather gets at it. And I don't think that's right. I don't see myself as a knife maker. We've become Survive is me, I'm Survive. And we're just a high-end neurotic manufacturing company that focuses on knives. And I look at this with the same expectation as like automotive. You know, I want no warranty if possible, unless you're doing something absolutely ridiculous with these tools. None of these should fail because of material deficiencies, in my opinion. So I'm gonna cut this off for now, but I hope that explains sort of my journey, where I'm coming from. And again, I apologize for just going dark for a bit there. I've had to turn myself into what this situation needed at every step. This isn't my base personality. In my lizard brain, I want to run away from this every day, but we're committed to it. And you know, to keep me motivated and accountable to you guys, I think the most healthy thing for my mental health is to bring you guys in here and do very frequent updates and just show you what's going on. I like sharing. I like when people come in here. That's why I got into this, is to provide something of genuine value. So I'm just not gonna, I don't consider myself in the industry. I've taken a long, hard look at it, and we're just gonna stand alone with you guys and be our own thing. Separate, you know, how I value my work is based on my perception of my work right now. And I'm very happy with my prices. And if we weren't being gaslighted on warranties and stuff for some of these materials, we do turn a profit. It's fine. We make good money. We're able to invest in new equipment as we go with our output, and it's fine. We just need to start holding some of these people accountable, so I'm going loud with it. They had a chance, and being a team player got me nowhere. So I'm accountable to you. So we're just gonna do this, and like I said, adopt just a model of absolute transparency, because I wanna have you guys in here. It motivates me. So without any further ado, I'm going to cut this video off, and we're going to look at some of these parts here. But my latest batch of Magna Cut, it was a lot cleaner, but we do still have about 10% of the points, or 10% of the parts have voids in them. So we're going to tear this down and go over here and take a look at that. Stand by.